starting today's video, I want to hold myself accountable for the fact that I have absolutely slowed down ever since closing these 2 clients. I need to turn that around as soon as possible. I'm getting comfortable again. The desperation and I guess fear before was fueling us to move like crazy. And while we are still moving, spending a lot of the day working, I can tell that my kind of sharpness around the edges, around like really making sure I'm using my time the best, and everything, that has fallen off. So I am calling this out, head on. I don't want to fall into this cycle again. I want to really take this project here that I've been documenting this and run it up as high as possible. We've almost done $10,000 in revenue since we started this project on day 0, got paid on day 19 for the very first time. And from 19 to now, we are, I don't know, it feels just weird dropping exact figures, but we are close to 10K. Super proud of that, but we cannot stop now. Now, I'm glad I went into that idea of posting on the forums as kind of delusionally confident as I was, because now that I've been poking around there a lot more, I'm finding that there are people who are actually very experienced, who kind of have all the right ideas. Obviously there's a lot of really, really poor, like bad actors on there who are kind of doing what I'm doing, and are, totally competitors, but they're just doing it to a much worse, like less informed degree. But there are also people who are undoubtedly more experienced, years in the game, doing all the right things, and then some. So I'm glad, and there's a lesson in this. The delusional confidence is what had me posting those things on the forum. Now, when I was writing these things that I posted on the forum that people then saw, contacted me for, which resulted in, a closed deal the other day. Had I known that I wasn't the biggest fish in the pond here, I may have had a different tonality in my writing, and I may have been a little bit more like hands off, a little more like, moving a little more nervous. But I think because I had that like sort of fierce, like almost borderline, not arrogance, but like that borderline, cockiness, like I'm the best attitude. I almost feel like that is kind of what worked, and that's what we need to continue being delusional about. So yeah, I was posting on that dental forum daily for quite a while, posting about like marketing and websites and everything. And well, nobody directly like roasted us or like, called me out for anything. I did have one or two responses that had a little bit of like an undertone to them, which, is to be expected anytime you're selling something. People don't like to be, undercover marketed to, advertised to. And I think as a result, I've stopped posting on the forum. It's been like 2 days now. And honestly, like I've just been trying to handle these client projects. The problem is, I think my subconscious mind knows that as long as I'm handling the client projects, I'm not doing the actual hard thing, which is outreach, which my conscious mind knows that's the step forward. The step forward is the outreach. Obviously we want to fulfill the projects and do a good job, but I'm talking like, I'm looking at this website, I have it on my screen here, and I would love to show you guys, but I just can't. And I've just been kind of looking at it and moving things around and previewing it and everything, and not really moving as intentionally as I need to, really doing the research and filling out the website with the highest quality things, and really just attacking this as quickly as possible. But yeah, put as simply as possible. I'm just catching myself stalling again, and we need to get back into that like attacking mindset, As a human, I really perform best when I'm chasing, and I just can't get back into this like cushy mindset where I'm half in, half out, where I'm sitting at the desk working, but I'm not really getting anything done. Got to go super aggressive with it. Also, this is just an example of how like even when I think I'm trying really hard, dude, there's so much opportunity. I send probably, what was it? I don't know, like a little over 100 DMs maybe. And like, I have a guy here who says he'd like to learn more. And then we have one who says, hi, how are you? And then something else. And then we have another one that says, send me a sample. And it's like, man, like I didn't even respond to these people. And then just to hold myself accountable, the last like 2 videos I've said that I'm going to do some outreach later tonight. I didn't end up doing that. So just for the sake of like absolutely punishing myself for that, not in like as a little slap on the shoulder for kind of not holding up, what I said I was going to do. I'm going to do some outreach. Like literally, I'm using my phone to film this, but the moment I turn the camera off, I'm going to go do some outreach and then I'll show you guys. Not necessarily because the outreach tonight is going to yield us clients, but just because you have to keep it pushing. You can't go into these extended phases of like not doing outreach or not working. You have to like, you just have to show up every day to some degree. And honestly, I think I might set a new goal. Should I set a new goal right now? I keep setting goals live on these videos and I'm not even thinking. When I committed to 10K by September 19th, that was me just making that up in the moment. I completely didn't mean to do that. I just said it. So now we have to hold ourselves to it. Let's make a new goal here. Let's say by September 19th. No, should I just say every day? Should I say every day? No, I don't want to say every day. That's too big. I have to say by September 19th, the next 10 days, we are going to do at least one message of outreach every single day, no matter what we have going on. So it can be a busy work day, you know, tons of stuff to do. We have to do one message of outreach. All right. And hopefully we'll do more than that, but we have to do one just to get the ball rolling. This is how it is, man. Like if you guys are watching this and you can relate to any of this, I hope that that's really helpful. Cause like, it's hard to comprehend when you're in it, how like human these struggles are. Like you can work so long and hard and then just never catch yourself like looping shitty patterns. And so I hope that by watching this, you guys can like spot some patterns in yourself and it like makes you better. You know, that's kind of the whole reason I'm doing this. So, you know, obviously aside from holding myself accountable and making money, which we have basically successfully done. So anyways, all right, enough of that. I'm going to go send my message right now. I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys have proof. And then I'm going to get back to my work.